Having a successful cake business is far beyond the knowledge of baking. It involves diligent costing, bookkeeping, excellent use of social media handles, and you need to structure the business as an entity. Above all, an unbeatable business prowess that will give you an edge. You're welcome to Baker's World, your one-stop baker show on television. I am Funke Oyeyele. Many thanks for joining us. We'll be back in a moment. On the show today, we'll be exploring a decadent and easy cake dessert, a sponge milk cake. We are delighted to have an articulate and resilient businesswoman as guest baker this week. Ikeolu is a unique pillar in the industry. We'll let you into our world in our conversation segment.
Something years of baking, decorating, training people.
And Baker's Gist, a complimentary segment, is on the lineup for your viewing pleasure. Do stick around. We'll be right back. Ikeolu is an exceptional baker that combines the art and science of baking. At a much younger age, she discovered her flair and creative talent.
It all started way back from primary school to secondary school. I just realized that I love baking anywhere I go to, any home I go to. My mom actually was a home economics teacher. So she would come home sometimes and whip up some things. I just realized that I was so interested. It excited me. It made me happy. So I would join, bake. You know, from then on to secondary school, I would check recipe books myself, buy books. When I got into secondary school, I made sure I did food and nutrition. I did home economics and I did food and nutrition. And for your information, I was always coming first in those subjects. I remember when I was graduating from school, I had become a Christian, I had a closer walk with God. And I was here in my mind that you're going to be a baker, not a banker. So, but I served in a bank. Then immediately 1 year after, I started working in the bank. Even while in the bank, I was baking. I would bake for my colleagues. My manager used to order cakes from me.
Hurdles are inevitable in any business, but how you handle the challenges can propel you to greater height.
When we first started, it was challenging, but at the same time, it was good because the Nigeria we have today is not the Nigeria we had then. I remember when I first started, staff challenge, personnel challenge, moving out, because I started baking from home. When I was at home, I wasn't the one paying rent. So I had to now do the business properly. I had to bring in structure into the business, make sure every money that came in was banked. And that was what caused the growth.
One success secret in the industry is to keep learning new recipes, skills, and techniques in cake decoration. Cake shows are regularly organized to unveil new trends, share ideas, and network. Above all, mentoring is key.
mentoring is a continuous process, is something that never ends, because there are levels in baking, there are levels in decorating, there are levels in sugar crafting. You also need to be able to talk to the person about the business of baking. The baking of baking in the oven is different from the business of baking. The business of baking is bookkeeping, human resources, making sure you bank your monies properly, making sure you have human resources. That individual that you want to mentor, you have to put the person through all this. It may not come at once. It may even be 5 years. It may be 3 years. It may be 2 years. It may be 1 year. And you don't have to be mentored by one person. I would advise that you go and pay for classes when necessary, so that the person, if you now ask questions, the person may be able to go the extra mile to mentor you.
As a professional baker, developing new recipes is achievable once you understand the basics of baking. Ikeolu gives us a hint.
One thing I must say, nothing is new under the sun. There have been many, many recipes. All you need to do is pick one, tweak it to suit your taste, budget, to suit your customer's taste, your environment, and all that. It is after the meal you take the dessert. The ingredients, you know, you can easily get them, because most of it is milk based, all right? So apart from the cake, which is just sugar, flour, egg with the flavor, very easy. The topping may be a little bit more expensive, because you need things like whipped cream, which is more or less imported, all right? So you need whipped cream, then you need the topping, okay? So those are the extra things that make it special.
Trust you have picked up a couple of lessons from the Chief Responsibility Officer and Creative Director, Mix and Bake. Baker's Juice is next for your viewing pleasure.
This is a fondant icing, and the flowers are handmade and they are quite edible. When you are into making cake, is like an art. So you definitely must know how to harmonize colors. You must know the colors that match and the colors that will not go together. So since we've been doing it for a very, very long time, at least we have an idea of colors that go very well together. On this cake, you could see even the flowers are united, and then we also have angels with their heads together. You can see angels here, so that is a sure sign of unity, even among the angels in heaven.
My name is Lucy McLever, and you're watching Baker's World on NTA. Oshe?
I will be teaching you a very lovely dessert called milk cake. To start it, we need the flour, we need our sugar, we need eggs, and we also need the flavor. We will need to sieve our flour 3 times, all right? For this milk cake, we always recommend you use vanilla or milk flavor or condensed milk or butterscotch, all right? So what we will do now, we'll move to the mixer and start mixing. What you're going to use is the balloon whisk, because mixers come in 3 attachments. You have the dough hook, you have the beater or the paddle, then you also have the whisk. So we're going to be using the whisk of the mixer. I start by pouring in my egg. I pour in my granulated sugar. I whisk at medium speed for about 2 minutes on medium speed. Then afterwards, we increase it to like high speed. And you mix until it's really foamy, fluffy. So at this point, I'm going to be adding 1 teaspoon of flavor. I don't want too many pockets in my cake, so I'll just reduce the speed a bit. So I would like you to see what it looks like now. Can you see the difference? Creamy. Can you see that? So I'll be adding it in bits. Like I'll add it like in 3 trenches. Then I will use my mixer, my whisk to whisk. So I add the first part. I'm going to add it in like 3 parts. So when I add it, I will use my whisk to then, you know, give it, because we want it to be as fluffy as possible. Okay, so again, we do the same thing. I'm going to add the last batch now. Again, we mix. Right, so the next thing we're going to be doing is pouring it into the pan. So the next thing is to move this into the oven. While it's baking in the oven, we'll prepare the milk topping, and every other thing. Make sure you place it into an oven that has been on for a few minutes, all right? Don't place your cake in a cold oven. So we're going to bake for about 30 minutes, 45 minutes to 1 hour.
I'm actually a passionate baker. I don't rest until everything is done.
When I entered university, anytime I'm broke, I'll make cupcakes and go and sell to the other students.
Decorating cake it's an artistic thing, and art is, you know, dynamic.
Join us on Baker's World every Thursday on the network service of the NTA. Baker's World, celebrating creativity. Don't miss it.
While our cake is baking and getting set, we have some other things we're going to be using to decorate our cake to make it as rich as it's meant to be. Remember, it's a milk cake, so we have different forms of milk here. Here you have liquid milk, full cream, rich full cream. Then you have condensed milk, all right? Then you have powdered milk, and you have whipped cream, all right? So we're going to be adding everything together. Then some water. I will start with my condensed milk. So I'm going to be adding whipped cream, then full cream powdered milk. So I'll just give it a little mix, and then I'll be adding a bit of water, cold water in bits. At this point, I will then whisk just to incorporate and make sure everything is melted. It's a really lovely dessert, very lovely dessert. Can be served at parties, occasions, you know, after food. Okay, so this is ready. The next thing we are going to do now, we're going to mix whipped cream in our mixer. All right, that is what we're going to pipe on top of the cake after pouring in our milk. So the process is you pour in your milk, then you pipe and you garnish. See you soon.
I'm actually a passionate baker. I don't rest until everything is done.
When I entered university, anytime I'm broke, I'll make cupcakes and go and sell to the other students.
Decorating cake it's an artistic thing, and art is, you know, dynamic.
Join us on Baker's World every Thursday on the network service of the NTA. Baker's World, celebrating creativity. Don't miss it.
Now I'm going to be mixing our whipped cream, okay? So into the mixer, the whipped cream goes. Then cold water, cold water. I may add a little bit more, but it depends on the consistency. Can you see it has doubled in volume? It's creamier, it's like ice cream as a matter of fact. Okay? So I like to just turn it off a bit so that you see the difference. Can you see that? Whoa, beautiful. It actually looks like ice cream, but is whipped cream. Our cake is ready. So we're just going to slice. Can you see how fluffy it is? I really don't want to squeeze it so that I don't mess up what I want to do, but this is really fluffy. I don't know if you can see. Really, really fluffy. So I'm going to this is the container I'm going to be using my cake in. I want to make sure it's about the base of the cake, all right? So I'm going to cut this, then cut it into two again. Are you following me? Then cut it, slice it into two. Wow, so rich, so rich. Then I'll place one of it inside here. Okay, and if you want to trim off the edge, you can, for beauty's sake. You know, just to make sure we don't have any, you know, so you can do that. Just to make it have a pretty look. Okay, so that's that. Then we do the second one. Trim the edge so it looks so. Again, I drop this in here. Okay, so we are set now. Then of course, if you have more, just cut some more and add. So I will then soak it all up on the cake. Can you see that? Whoa. Then again, I do the same thing for the second one. I'm sure your mouth is watering already. Okay, so I have my Lotus Biscoff here, and I also have my lemon curd. So then I have my whipped cream. So the next thing I'll be doing, just watch. So this is a piping bag. Lovely, isn't it? This is very classy. Our final garnishing. So again, I'm going to place this across. Can you see that? Just to give it some effigy, like they call it. Okay, so I will finish up with my lemon curd, just dots of lemon curd in different places, just to give it that touch. And if you want, you can also pipe your lemon curd over it. It depends on you. What do you want? It depends on what you want. Isn't that lovely? Then you end with a Lotus Biscoff at the side. All right, and finally, okay, so we've come to the end of our dessert making. Isn't it sumptuous? I'm sure you feel like grabbing some. Anyway, go do yours at home. All right? So make sure when you are not ready to eat this, it's important to cover it up. Then you place in the fridge until you're ready to eat it. And when you're eating it, you have to eat it with a spoon.
Milk sponge is a dessert that anyone can relish at an event or even as a special treat at home. You'll give it a try as it can light up your day. That's all we have for you today on Baker's World. For your comments, feedback and likes, you can reach us on all our social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. It's Baker's World on NTA. So we'll come your way next week with a more interesting and exciting episode of Baker's World. I am Funke Oyele. See you next week.